Da, 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 da. Good morning. Happy Sunday. All right, so Sundays we do big picture. So here's big picture Sunday. If you did your goal setting workshop and you really got a list of goals for yourself for your entire future, for everything, you did the whole deal where you really put pen to paper, you wrote it down, you did the years, you wrote out your paragraphs. So now you've got a huge list of awesome goals that are motivating, that are inspiring. So now if you resonate with that and sit there and say, what would it be like? Do that rocking chair test that we talked about. What would it be like to have lived a life where you've achieved all these goals? What would that be like? And just feel that for a while. That if you were 80 years old or 90 years old or whatever, and you had accomplished all of these things, what would that be like? I went to the movies last night and I watched the new movie with Billy Crystal. And it's a story about a guy who's accomplished a lot in his life, but now he has dementia. And so he's starting to lose it. And he realizes that it's not going to be too long and he's not going to remember who people are and all that. So, relationships mean everything when you get to that moment, and accomplishments are great, but you have to remember what's important along the way. So if you've got all of these goals and the goals are inspiring, now we talked about values and beliefs and all of that. To put this all together, look at those goals and then ask yourself, what kind of person would accomplish all of this? If you were to meet that person that had done all of these things, what are the characteristics and traits and beliefs and habits and principles of a person who does all of this stuff? And then write down all of those characteristics. And if you can, write them down in order. And what you're going to start to find is these are the characteristics that you need to have in order to accomplish all of that stuff. So ask yourself, what are the values of a person who does all of these things? What do they value? And try to put them in order. And then add to those values, what are the beliefs that they have in order to hit those targets? And write all of those down. And then ask yourself, what are the characteristics that they have? What are their daily habits? How do they live their day? What are the things that they do no matter what? What are their musts? And then write down those characteristics. And the other thing, if I didn't tell you to do this, please do this. Do your perfect day. If this person, if you'd accomplished all of these things, what would your perfect day be like? Who would you be with? What would you do? Who would you be around? But if you put yourself at the end of all of that and say, okay, if I've accomplished all these things, the person that did that, what are the values? What are the beliefs? What are the characteristics that they're going to have? What do they do on a daily basis? Now, come back to present day and instill those values, those beliefs, those characteristics. Start sowing the same seeds and you're going to reap those rewards. That's how you start with the end in mind. Because it's easy to figure out, once you look at all this stuff, what does that person do every day? Do they go out and get drunk every Friday, or do they stay home and read or work on budgets? Do they come home and watch television for 3 hours, or do they make sure that they get to the gym no matter what? Do they sleep in every day, or do they get up and make sure that they work out every morning, that they look at their values and beliefs, that they look at their goals? What are the things that person has done? If you were to be able to go back in time, if you're over the age of 40 and you could go back to in your 20s, would you do things the same, or would you be more directed in terms of how you spent your hours? Would you make sure that you put first things first? Would you read? Would you do all of those things? Chances are the answer to that is yes. And so this is all that we're doing, is Put yourself at the end and then say, okay, if I want to accomplish all this stuff, what does this person do on a daily basis? And then bring it back to today and start sowing those seeds. That's the process that we do at Date with Destiny. That's how you come up with your values and the order that they're in. That's how you come up with your beliefs. That's how you come up with your primary question and your mission statement. If you put this all together in one big thing, if you dovetail it into one person, you can figure out your characteristics, your habits, your daily rituals. You can figure out all of that. And each time that you resonate with those goals, it becomes easier and easier to come back and figure out, okay, these are the things that I'm going to do every day in order to get to that end. So start with the end in mind. The person who accomplishes all of these things that you wrote down yesterday, what do they do every day? What are their characteristics? What are their values? How do they live their life? And then start living your life in exactly the same manner. Sow the same seeds, you're going to reap the same rewards. I hope that makes sense on the Big Picture Day. Hope everybody has a great day. Mary, good morning. Thank you for watching. Great to see you. Have an awesome Sunday, everybody. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.